Every end of the year, I write my goals for the next year. 2022 has been by far the best year of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that when I wrote my list, that I will show it to you. You know what I named the 2022 year?
What?
The year of self-care.
Oh, and I can say that it has been a year
It
for
has
self-care for
been.
you.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Like I wrote this not knowing everything that I was going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you my top 3 goals for this year.
Yeah.
And not only was I able to achieve them in my own way, but I was able to surpass them.
Oh,
Welcome to episode 13,
the last episode for this season and this year.
2022.
Sex, relationships,
Careers.
and just plain life. From the experience of 2 Latina actresses.
Welcome to V Unfiltered.
Oh, twist off.
Hi, I am Vanessa Tomasino.
And I am Maria Bresson.
We were going to do the big champagne reveal, but it was a twist off.
It was a twist off mini champagne bottle. But
It's okay. We tried. We tried to make it special for
safety
you.
first. Safe on set.
Safety first on set. It's so crazy to think that when you start a year, you really don't know what you're going to get into. Like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's like a Kinder Sorpresa chocolates.
It's Kinder Surprise. In French, Kinder Surprise. Well, the thing is, I actually I saw the chocolate for the very first time in France. So that's why when I learned the name, it's Kinder Surprise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then it's Kinder Surprise.
Nice.
Where was it invented?
I think Kinder is from Germany.
But that like the brand Kinder
Yeah.
Surprise?
No, Kinder is
Just the name. Yeah, yeah.
The brand is like Kinder is like Hershey's.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's okay. We know now Kinder Sorpresa in 3 different languages.
And that's the episode for today.
And that's thank you for watching and listening. Cheers, Maria,
Yay.
for another incredible year.
It was a crazy 2022, a great one.
It was a really good year. It was. I can honestly say, it was the best year of my life so far.
Yeah, not mine, but I'm happy for you.
Why? Elaborate. Why wasn't it a good year for you?
I don't know. I mean, it was a really good year.
Hold on. Why wasn't it a good year for you? I think it's a good year for you.
You think so?
Yeah. Why wasn't it good? But I want to hear from you why you think it's not a good year for you.
I mean, it was a good year, but not the best year of my life.
You think?
No, maybe let me rephrase that. Maybe it has been the best year as a young adult where I'm financially independent and career driven. But like my favorite year was 2017 when I lived in Italy and I just ate pasta and drank wine and ate gelato.
Okay, but that sounds like a permanent holiday.
Yeah. No, yeah. Maybe it has been the best year for my personal growth, I think.
What would make a good year for you? Like realistically speaking, like let alone the pasta and the holiday in Italy. I mean, you could never beat that. Let alone that. But what would make you, as an adult, a 26-year-old?
26-year-old.
A 26-year-old adult. What would be a good year for you?
I just feel that this year you're gonna, obviously you're not gonna agree with me, but I think that I just feel a little stuck with my acting career. So that's what's making me, like just rethink everything and just feel like this year was another like waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I did just finish a movie.
I was just gonna say that. What is stuck to you? Because this is my mission in life is to figure out how to change things, how to turn them around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I know something's not working, what would I have to do to make them work? So that's my question to you. Because let's be honest, as an actor, you have zero control of whether you work or not. So if you're not, let's say that you didn't work for the entire year, Okay, but what can you do instead to still make your acting career a good one? Because you have no control of bookings.
I'm still trying to figure it out
Uh
and see what
huh.
I can do for 2023 to like make it better. Um, I don't know. I feel like I keep telling myself that I'm not working a lot because I'm not, a U.S. citizen.
Hmm.
But then again, productions here in El Salvador don't want me either. So it's like,
I mean, productions in El Salvador are really tough because they're not looking for people like you and
yeah.
me. The same with me. Somebody recently on TikTok asked me when I was going to be in a Salvadoran movie. And I said,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Because
Yeah.
the reality is that I am not a part, like the narratives that they're telling, I have no place in that storytelling. I mean, they can't, casting here cannot imagine somebody looking physically like me
Hmm.
in the stories they're telling. So it is very
Yeah,
unlikely that
same.
I will work in El Salvador. Not to mention that I am also a union actress, and most shows here are non union. So that's another problem for me. But in your case, I mean, if anybody looks at you, nobody would say you're from El Salvador.
And that's what people tell me. The first thing they say when they look at me, and then I tell them that I'm from El Salvador. They're like, "No, you're not."
I know.
But like, but then again, like, why can men that don't look Salvadoran work in Salvadoran movies?
Because you said men.
I
because
mean,
because
and I
they
try to think how not to make this a gender thing, but it is a gender thing.
because there are certain advantages and privileges. Like, just look at the movie that just shot. I will not name the movie because I'm not a paid advertisement. Okay. But the movie that just shot here, how many roles were there for men?
Yeah, a
Lots.
lot.
A lot. How many roles for women?
None.
Very little. And the ones that
Yeah,
were there were
not
non-speaking.
speaking.
We had our friend Marta, a fabulous actress from
Yeah.
Los Angeles. I love you, Marta.
I
um,
love you so much.
no, I
I
love
was
her
just
more. I
no,
just said first.
I was just with her, and she was the best host
I
ever.
love her.
Yeah,
We miss you. So she was supposed to be in that movie too. She's an amazing actress, and she looks Salvadoran, right?
the typical
Exactly, the stereotypical
yeah.
Salvadoran. But what happened? The role was so empty. Like the story of this woman was like she was just
There,
whatever,
she was
it's
just
like
there.
it wasn't worth her time as a professional actress
Mhm.
working and living in LA. So we also have to think about that, Maria. Like, it's what kind of roles we want to play. So yeah, I'm very aware, friends. I know that I may never work in El Salvador, and that's fine by me.
Because you don't look the stereotypical Salvadoran. But then
Yeah,
again, like, what does a stereotypical Salvadoran look like? I'm
you know what
sorry,
it is.
I know,
You
but it's
know what
just
it
it's
is.
frustrating because I am very much Salvadoran. I
Yes,
was born here. I was raised here. I've been
I know.
immersed in this culture my entire life, and I don't care. Like, honestly, people ask me like, "Where are you from?" And I said El Salvador, and they're like, "No, where are you actually from?"
I
And
know.
I'm like, "I don't know. My grandparents are from here. Maybe my ancestors from, I don't know, 5 generations ago were European. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't care."
Yeah. Well,
And
of
like, I'm
course.
not, yeah, and I'm not against, men that don't look Salvadoran play those roles, but like, then why can't women also play those roles as well?
Because once again, for the roles of women tend to be physically driven. Like, it's all about
Hmm.
how we look. I was just telling you that the other day too. When we get breakdowns, it's always like a woman. She's on the chubbier side or model type. There's a very strong description of the woman,
And for
right?
men, it's just
For
men.
men, it's just a Caucasian man in between 30 and 45. Sometimes when the role requires them to be overweight or super skinny or super tall, it will say, but most of the time it doesn't say. But for women, most of the time it does.
Mhm.
It gives you an idea of how attractive she is, or what she needs to look like. So, but I think that's changing slowly. And I think it is our job as filmmakers, not as actors, to change that,
Mhm.
to write stories where white Latinos can be represented on the screen, not just dark skinned Latinos,
Mhm.
and where our colleagues who are the dark skinned Latinos are not represented as villains all the time,
Yeah,
So all of us have our struggles,
that's
right?
what I liked about Melactic, and
Yeah.
like, the short film you wrote,
Yes.
and you starred in, how the bad guys weren't always dark skinned Latinos. brown skin.
I refuse to play
Typical.
that game.
Yeah.
I refuse to play the stereotyping game. But it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
I just wrote. Well, there's an article about this, about BIPOC stories. I got interviewed by an amazing academic, Jeff. You can go to my website or to my Instagram, and or where can they see it? Maybe on.
Maybe you can link it
I'll
on
link it
this
on my Instagram or something. But you can go check it out. It's
your
he
article.
the article. Yeah, he interviewed me about this kind of topics. What is it? Why Hollywood gravitates towards certain stories, why are Latinos not included, why are voices different, and so forth. And I think I give a very eloquent response about why, but I also think there is space for change. It's just a matter of sacrificing, because it's a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice or compromise somebody's vision to say maybe we need to be more inclusive. Just like Afro Latinos need to be more included in productions, also white Latinos need to be included in productions. And even though it's true that white Latinos are privileged in society normally, they're still not represented on TV. So I'm very aware of that. The chelitos, like us
And also
chelitas have
not
benefits in
only
the society.
and not only like white passing Latinos, I don't think they should only be playing white roles. Like that's a problem, that like white passing Latinos sometimes, when the universe aligns, they play white roles, but like that has to change too. Like, why can't a white passing Latino play like
A Latino.
a Latino, just a regular Latino?
I have the story of this person that I know personally. Once again, I'm not going to say who it is, but this person is white. He's Latino. He's from South America. I'm not going to say where. He's from South America, but he's not from the typical Argentina countries where white people live. No, this is from another country where there are dark-skinned Latinos too. Although they also have dark-skinned Latinos in Argentina. You get my point. Like, it's not just anyway. Anyhow, so this man is white, blue eyes, blonde hair, and he's like 6'1" or 6'2". He crossed the border illegally from Mexico to the United States. Just like the Latinos, the stereotypical Latinos, with that we assume that we are in television, short, chubby, dark skin with a little mustache, that's what they think it will look like. He crossed the border with them. And the funny thing is that when he was running away from the immigration officers, they let him go
Oh my god.
because he was white.
Oh my god.
And they went after the dark-skinned Latinos.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. But my point is, he was just like the rest of the Latinos, living a really tough life in his country, deciding to cross the border just like everybody else. But he was white, blue eyes,
Blonde hair.
blonde hair. Would anybody tell his story on TV? No.
No.
And his story needs to be told, because I think he's coming from South America, dude.
Yeah.
Like all the way from South America, he crossed the border. I mean, in El Salvador, we're closer to Mexico. It's close.
With the same risks of dying.
Exactly, leaving his family behind, two daughters, a wife.
Wow.
And his story will never be told on screen because he doesn't look Latino. That's ridiculous.
It is.
So anyway,
you worked a lot.
We digress. We digress. Let's come back.
My career
let's
is
finish.
Still, I'm still figuring it out for next year, 2023. I'm going to write my resolutions. But this year you worked a lot. You had a lot of.
But let's pause here for a second before we move on to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you just started your acting career too. Like, when did you start officially? Not when you started studying, because that's different.
Like when I got my first role, big role.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the basic. When did you start your studying acting?
2019 September.
Jesus Christ. Okay. 2019. Okay.
So 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay. Okay, so it's only been 3 years.
Yeah.
When you started studying it. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where you are, you're doing great. Hindsight.
I just wish it. I wish I had more opportunities.
We all do. But can you look honestly, can you look back at where you are and what you've done and not realize that you have moved forward in your career? I mean, it's been 3 years. I know people in Canada who've done it for 7 years and they haven't worked at all, much less played a lead.
I don't know. I know I'm like super hard on myself, but I just wish it had happened like faster. I
There's no
know.
such thing as faster. There's only the right time. And the
Yeah.
right time is not chosen by you.
I know.
It's when the universe thinks you're ready.
The film gods.
The film gods, you know?
I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, if I were like auditioning like all the time, then I'd be like, okay, at least they want to see me. But like, I'm not even given the chance. I feel like.
But because you're new, it's because it takes casting directors a while to get to know you and build a
I
relationship.
understand that for Hollywood, but for here, like, really?
Well, first of all, there are no casting directors here.
I know.
And
but,
the ones
like,
that are commercials.
But the people that are making the decisions for like movies here, I'm not even like, taken into consideration. And they were just like, oh yeah, she's pretty and that's it. And like
Yeah.
they won't, look past that.
But for the same reason, it shouldn't matter what they say. Because it's different if somebody trained came up to you and said, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to see you. That hurts a lot. That has happened to me once with a casting director, where the casting director thought I wasn't good enough. And he said, her boobs are too big. Like that was his issue with
fabulous.
Me. Thank you, darling. And they're real. Some people have been asking if they're real. They are real. See, they move. It's true. They're real. But like this casting director really hated my body. And it was all about like, all I can see are her boobs. And he even went as far as somebody told him like, oh, Vanessa got cast in this movie as a lead. And apparently I wasn't there to hear it, but what I was told is that he said, if I had cast that movie, I would have never given her that role.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But this is somebody that knows the industry. So that's painful.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's somebody who doesn't even know what they're doing, not calling you.
I mean, yeah, but like it's the only thing that's, getting done here. So
I mean, I don't want to minimize your struggle. I know how you feel. But all I'm saying is maybe the year wasn't so bad as you think it was.
No, I mean, besides acting, I think it was a great year for personal growth, good things, bad things. I met someone, my boyfriend, who was really great, and my relationship with my mom got better.
Oh.
Like a little kind of, I don't know.
I love how you started saying yes and they're like, I don't know anymore.
I mean, I feel like it has. It can, go sideways anytime.
Oh, like anything. Yeah.
But I also got like a lot of paid partnerships with brands that I like and I support. My makeup career has, taken off.
Yes.
I just booked a wedding in Chicago and I'm going to do the wedding next year.
Oh, nice.
And hopefully one in New Jersey. So, I'm working with like makeup a lot and, the bad things have been bad, but I have been able to get past them. So
Yeah.
it's been a good year for growth, personal growth, and also career wise, I guess, with makeup. It's been a good year. I got a raise. So
what were your goals? You didn't write them down?
My goal was to like move to LA this year, and that didn't happen.
Okay.
So yeah, and then obviously I wanted to like I wanted a raise, so I got my raise. Just I'm very career driven, so it was basically like my career. Everything else was just like on pause for me. Like relationships and stuff, but that just happened, so and I'm happy with that.
But I once again I don't want to make it sound like it's not important, but like it is important. Like how so many people want to have a partner and you have a good partner.
Yeah, no, I'm really thankful for him, and
But it's rare
it
to
is
find
it is
that.
it is it is
So
it
it's a
is
good
rare.
year.
Yeah, no, it was a good year, like with everything else. I mean, even with acting, yeah, it was a good year as well. I booked my second movie, so that's good. But
Positivity.
I mean, instead of doing New Year's resolutions, I write 10 things that I'm grateful for each year at the end
Yeah.
of the year. So I still have to write that, and I should write New Year's resolutions, I guess, or goals or dreams or whatever.
I live for them.
Still don't know like what I want for next year. I feel like it's so uncertain.
Oh, I know exactly what I want for
Yeah.
next year. Well, the thing is, I'm very specific, and I
Mhm.
know what I'm working towards. So I already have like
Yeah.
my list. I just need to sit down and write it. But I always wait till December 31st to do it. Within my new agenda, I have this agendas, these books,
Yeah.
these calendars, and I've had them since I'm 14, and I write this list every year since I'm 14, and it's crazy. But yeah, this year was good. Let me read you. Okay, so it says this, you can see it. So
Oh.
goals for this year: one, care for my well-being, emotionally and
That
physically.
I didn't do. I didn't lose 20 pounds. I wanted to do that for this year.
Okay, once you're so crazy. um okay, so let's just go, step by step. So here, if you can see, it's like I'm teaching a class. Here, if you can see, I write care for my well-being emotionally and physically. I don't actually say how many pounds I want to lose,
Hmm.
or if I want to lose anything. I didn't
Hmm.
actually write that.
Oh no, I'm talking from.
No, I know, but me too. Obviously, I wanted to lose weight, but care for my well-being emotionally. So what happened? I started therapy,
Yeah, it's
something
great.
that I did not see coming.
And you've never done in your life,
I've done it in my life, but
but
it wasn't
not.
not like this. Like I've always at
It
university, I
wasn't
remember.
consistent. Wasn't
Yeah, it
conscious.
was part of the program of my university where you get mental health assistance, and you just go in to talk to whoever. Like it's not programmed, consistent. It was just whoever's around. So when I was at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, I went to see someone. They were super nice. He was super nice. But all he said was, "Why do you feel like that? How does that make you feel?" And I
Oh, like the
remember,
typical
hmm
therapist, like in movies.
yeah, literally. And I wasn't getting anything out of it. And I
Mm.
remember that I even remember walking in. I was 28, I think 29. I remember walking in and I was like, listen, this is what's wrong with me. And I said, this has happened and this has happened and the war and the earthquake and this and my parents. And he just looks at me and he goes, you have a really good grasp on the issues that you're dealing with in your life. I'm like, yes, but I still need help. It's like, and he couldn't help me. He would just listen to me. He was super nice. Like I said, he was super nice. But he didn't give me any tools,
Oh, okay.
okay, for me to do anything about my life. I wasn't planning on having therapy this year at all either. It just happened after this huge meltdown in May where I had bronchitis. And I think bronchitis just unleashed this almost like an avalanche of my issues all at once because I felt like I was dying because I couldn't breathe. I was finishing a movie in Vancouver, and which made me really happy to be working. But I got sick at the same time, and then I just couldn't breathe, and I thought I was dying. And all of these feelings came, and I remember asking for help. Like I would ask my
Yeah.
parents for help, I would ask my friends for help. Like I would say, like, "Listen, I can't breathe," and everyone said I was crazy. Everyone said just like you're having a panic attack. I'm like, I don't think this is a panic attack. It doesn't feel right. And it was that I had bronchitis, and nobody knew. But the good thing about that is that it really shed light on the fact that I needed help because
Hmm.
it opened a Pandora's box of all the things that I hadn't dealt with in my life and I needed to deal with. And they were leading me in the wrong path. I met a lot of people this year, people that I'm so grateful for in my life. They're no longer in my life, but they came to my life for a purpose, and that was to remind myself how broken I felt and that I needed help. And it was like a trigger. And so this year for me was amazing because I met all these people who at the time made me really happy too, but also broke me terribly. But it helped me realize that I needed help. And so I started therapy, and that changed my life. June 1st was just June 1st. I was alive. I became a totally different person. I changed everything in my life, everything. And I stand before you, a changed woman. No, but it's true, like it's amazing. Like my life really changed for the better. For the better. I'm stronger and healthier
I
mentally.
can say that your life has changed
You
for the
can
better.
vouch for
Yeah,
me.
I can vouch for
So
you.
crazy. I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy. And I didn't even know. That's the worst. I
Yeah.
just thought I was naturally broken, like I thought I was born broken. And then I
No.
realized that it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
So that's that. Physically, when I started the year, I weighed, I think I weighed 10 pounds more than I do now. It's been a struggle. I'm not going to lie. I lost like 12 to 14 pounds. Um, but then I gained back another 6, which is this constant thing of it, my weight is related to how I'm feeling,
Yeah, emotional.
my emotional habits. So if I'm not dealing with something well, I gain weight. And it's funny because it's not just through eating. Sometimes it's stress that releases
Not
cortisol
sleeping.
and not sleeping, right? And so it's not just food, because sometimes I've even limited my amount of food, but yet I'm still gaining weight, and it has a lot to do with my mental well-being. But I can say that I am closing the year physically healthier than last year. So I'm exercising a little bit more. I am eating a lot better. You'll be happy to hear that I'm eating salads now
Oh,
every day.
I'm
Before,
proud.
I did not eat anything green at all for like 3 years. Since I've had my kids, 5 years. For 5 years, I haven't had any salads. And now I'm eating salads and I like it. It's actually real nice.
I love salads
Yeah.
and pizza.
Salad and pizza for sure.
Yeah.
So that's that. So I think that perhaps I'm not where I'm supposed to be or where I want to be. Like
But
you say,
you're
the
there.
20 pounds, but I did lose 10.
Yeah.
That's good. You know what I
So
mean?
celebrate the small
Celebrate the
which
small
are
wins.
which are not that small either.
No,
Like,
no.
10 pounds is a big deal.
Yeah. My second point of my year's resolutions or goals for this year is give my all in every audition.
Aww. I love that.
And fuck, did I do that?
And fuck, did you audition this year?
Yes.
You auditioned so much.
Oh my God, you guys,
I
this
think
year.
this last month you auditioned so much.
One day I had 8 auditions. That is a record for
Yeah.
me. I've been blessed that I have really good relationships with casting directors, because they know I work really hard, and the turnarounds between the request of the audition to when I deliver the self tape, they know it's really fast,
Yeah.
so it's a short
Right
turnaround.
away.
So they trust my work, and I'm very grateful to them for always believing in me, for sure. But I had never seen that. 8 auditions was just ridiculous. And I just remember feeling blessed, but at the same time frazzled. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, realistically speaking, how do I manage my time having 2 kids, teaching classes, and, but I made it work. I definitely achieved my goal. I gave it my all in every audition. I gave it my all, and I am proud of every single one of them.
Even the days that you weren't feeling like doing them.
Even the ones where I didn't feel like doing them, the ones that I thought didn't work and then I got booked for. It's like, or the day, like there was the one that I booked for Netflix, literally right before I was going to start taping, it rained and the entire studio flooded, like here where I tape.
Oh yeah.
So I did the audition with with water at the bottom, and since you can't see it because it's It's like, just think about that. Like,
Yeah.
under extreme weather conditions, and I still managed to pull it off, and I got booked for that role. And right now, I'm shortlisted for another movie that is filming in January.
Woo!
It doesn't matter if I book it or not. It's
You're
just the fact that I'm
shortlisted.
shortlisted. You know, it means that once again the work was good, and I'm feeling blessed. So I had approximately 3 to 4 solid bookings in different areas: voiceovers, films, series. Um, so it was a good year, but I achieved my goal of giving it my all.
Yeah.
So that was done. So yay, 2022 for that. And then the last thing in my list, oh yeah, read at least 3 books.
Did you?
I read 6. Yes.
Wow.
And it's interesting to think about why I would put that in my list because I love to read. But the truth is, after I I love your face. If you're not seeing this because you're not watching this on YouTube, she's making a face, and I don't know why. I'm trying to
Like,
decipher.
I don't know why, because you said I don't know why I would put this as my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, because I
And I'm
read
like,
all.
why did you?
I know, and here's why. I will explain. After I stopped writing my dissertation, because before, when I was in the active in the PhD program, because you're writing your dissertation, you read approximately 12 to 15 books a year, just because it's research, right?
Mhm.
But the moment I stopped writing my dissertation, because I was already done, and then I had my second kid, I stopped reading completely. I
Oh,
just
really?
stopped. Yeah, because you don't have time. I mean, with a newborn baby, it's really hard to focus and read. When you have free time, you sleep. You know, even when I go to the doctor's appointment, while I'm waiting, I'm not reading. I sleep because that's when you don't have the baby.
Oh.
Yeah, and so this year my baby is a year and 11 months old.
Yeah, almost as well.
So I had to put it on my list because I wasn't going to read at all. You know, so I did. So I wrote 3 books and I read 6. So I achieved that goal. So I am very happy with 2022. It brought me, and I just want to clarify this with everybody. It was a really good year for me, but that doesn't mean I was exempt from pain.
Oh no.
I had a
Definitely
lot
not.
of pain. Like the worst pain I felt in my life was this year. Pain. Like, I felt like I was dying, and I felt like someone was killing me, you know. So I think it's very important that people, when they think about the work that they put in a year, it's not about having the best year because it's fun
Or happy.
or happy, but it's you're having the best year because you learned something that made you a better person. And normally those lessons come with a lot of hurt and pain. And it did. Oh God, I have a video. You know that I recorded myself. Did I tell you that? No. At my lowest, when I had the bronchitis, I couldn't stop crying. I just couldn't. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stop crying, and I didn't know why. I thought I was going crazy. Um, and I taped myself because I figured there's something really magical about being raw and honest, and this moment may never come back.
Mhm.
Which exactly is that exactly what happened is I have never felt that bad ever again. And I cried and I couldn't stop crying. So all I did is I turned my camera on and I recorded myself crying for like 6 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was brutal. Like, watching it over, it's so brutal to see me in so much pain, but it was so necessary. And if you think about it, when do you get the time to see yourself vulnerable? You rarely do that. You feel yourself vulnerable, which is different because you're with yourself, you know, and you have all of these multiple voices talking to yourself like, get it together, you're so dumb, you're so stupid, blah blah. You shouldn't be saying that, but that's what we say. But it's rare to see yourself.
Yeah, I hide. I usually just hide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most people do. I hide when I'm in pain and when I'm hurt.
Mhm.
But this time I said, you know what? This is the lowest point of my life. I think I need to record this. And so I did. And I still have the video.
Do you watch it?
I watch it. I watch it to
What are you gonna
remind
do this
myself.
Friday night?
What am I
Watch
going to do
myself
this Friday
suffer.
night? I watch my video and I look at that girl who's no longer the woman I am now. I see that girl in so much pain, And it's like it got better. I can honestly tell people it gets better. Time makes things better.
The only thing that can, heal you and kill you is time.
Yeah, and it does. But for me, it was so important to record myself because that is one moment that will never come back. I will never be in that place again.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I try to recreate that, it's not the same person.
Wow.
I know, right? And I was so confused. I remember feeling so confused. A shout out to Linda in Vancouver. Linda is one of my really, really close friends. She's the one that is always with me in Vancouver when I fly in to film, and she had to see me cry every single day. And I remember apologizing to her, just being like, I don't know, I can't stop. Like I couldn't stop. I just like I can't stop. And she was like, "That's okay, Vanna. You do your thing. You don't have to be. You don't have to be happy." And God bless her soul. She helped me through a lot, but she had to witness that, and now I have it like a highlight of my 2022 because that moment made me reach out for help. If I wouldn't have gone through that, maybe I would still be thinking that I was born broken.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? I thought I couldn't be fixed.
But now you know you're not broken.
No, I'm
And
not broken.
That's a win for this year.
It's a big win for this year, and that's the thing. It's a surprising win because if you look at like my acting goals and stuff like that, I've worked before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my pillow just fell.
I thought it was like a rat or something.
No, my pillow just fell. Like I've worked before. Like I've played leads before. I've been in some amazing shows in the past. So that's not what makes my year. Although once again, I'm super grateful to work. And I did work on a Netflix show. He's like, yeah, don't forget to hire me. Um, I am grateful. But what I'm saying is what made this year particularly special to me was that I was able to love myself, to find self respect for myself and dignity, something I never had in the past. I kept looking for people to validate me, not realizing that the only person that I wanted validation from was myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that
it's
is
the only one that matters.
It's the only one that matters. And that's something nobody can give to you. No movie, no money, no man.
Yeah. So, what would you say, or any piece of advice for the people who think or believe they were born broken and they don't know?
No, you're not born broken. You need help. You need to like seriously. You need to find professional help. Like you need to find somebody that will give you a good diagnostic of what you're feeling and then the tools to make it better. We're listen, we all have different backgrounds. We all have different stories. And you don't have to. This is the biggest mistake. We've said it before in other podcasts to think that you're broken because something really big and traumatic happened in your life. Not true. Something really small can change the course of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in this huge car accident or seeing your parents get murdered or get raped in order to be traumatized or to have some sort of painful event that changes the course of your life. It could be something small as once wanting a hug from your dad and your dad being too busy with work to hug you, and then you now realize that life you will probably not get hugs in your life. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be something big. So if you're feeling like that, reach out, get help. Don't get stuck in the maze. Did you watch the documentary I told you, Stutz?
I haven't had time, but I'm gonna watch it maybe
Okay.
today or tomorrow.
So Netflix has a show. See, I feel like I can talk about Netflix like this because I'm in a Netflix show. So I feel like I'm part of the Netflix family. So I will plug them for free. Well, not for free because, I will plug my show too eventually. So Jonah Hill has this documentary that he produced, and he's also stars in it. It's about his psychologist or his therapist. His last name is Stutz, and you can find it on Netflix. And it gives you the tools to put into perspective how you're feeling and how you can manage certain things that you think that are broken in you. Okay. So one of the things that he talks about is this maze. is when we have a problem that we keep on coming back to. It's like a recurring thing that we're stuck in this like maze, and we don't have the tools to get out and say this is not a problem for me anymore, right? So a lot of us are stuck there. I'm a little stuck there with my weight, where it's such a touchy feeling for me. I haven't yet surpassed that, but I trust that I will eventually, overcome that. But you should watch it, and everybody who hasn't seen it, do yourself a favor. If you're into this whole self-help therapy thing,
Yeah, I really want
watch
to
it.
watch it. I haven't. You're not the only one who has recommended it. A lot of people have
Yeah,
posted on their
it's
stories,
good.
or they have like tweeted about it.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
good.
want to watch it.
And it's been rated really high by experts and by mainstream society, and
Wow.
that's good, because it means that our society craves that sort of content, because we all feel isolated, and we feel damaged, and we feel confused, and if this documentary is being well received, is because it is helping us in a way. And thank you to Jonah Hill for being so vulnerable and willing to put himself out
Yeah.
there, and in a world that is so harsh because
Cruel.
and cruel, because people like to criticize other people for no reason. Well, no, not for no reason. They like to
Yeah.
criticize
For no
because they are
reason.
in pain. No,
Oh
they're in
yeah,
pain. There,
true.
it's a reaction, right? If somebody attacks you, it's because they are in so much pain that the only way that they can make themselves feel better is by attacking you.
Hmm.
It's a reactionary approach to life, right? So we definitely need this in our society. So I'm glad he did it.
It's also generational though, because you know, past generations they feel like, oh, I don't need therapy. Like I'm strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I'm weak, and like millennials, Gen Z, and like the future generations, they actually take care of their emotions, their mental health and stuff. You know, it's becoming almost like a trend to like see your therapist.
Yeah,
And I feel like, I mean, as long as people are treating themselves, then
doesn't
that
matter.
doesn't matter. Like make it a trend if you want to.
Yeah, if it's something good. Although I do have to say that I don't feel weak seeing a therapist. Quite the opposite. I feel super brave
But a lot
because
of
you
people think
work
it's
so
like
hard
it's
through shit.
but I feel like some people see it as a sign of weakness, and they feel like, or they say like the typical, I'm not crazy, I don't need a
Yeah.
shrink,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes.
I was someone who said that in one point in my
Oh,
life, but
really?
then yeah, I used to say that, but then I went to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, I was medicated and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And now like I see how that's not being weak. That's
No.
being strong, because you're asking for help and you're strong enough to ask for help.
And you're addressing things that are really hard and complicated. It's not
Hmm.
easy to confront yourself and say, I have severe limitations in this area. Like, that is amazing that you have the ability and the strength to look inside and say, I am the problem. How can I fix this?
Or like actually dig deep into, your core.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not easy to, have someone literally open up your chest and start picking, and try to find the root of like the problems. It's
Yeah.
really hard. And having to dig deep into yourself and address like what's the root of your problem, like it's so hard.
It's very brave. And I commend everyone who's doing it. I'm in awe by all of your struggles. I applaud every single effort to make yourself better. And I wish somebody would have told me this before. I would have started sooner, but it was the right time for me. I think you have to hit rock bottom in order to realize that there's something that needs to change. So, 2022, you were amazing. Thank you so much. And we are running a little bit out of time, although it is a special episode because it's the very last one of the season. So we can talk
And the year.
as long as we want and the year. But I can't close this episode without one of our biggest achievements this year together. You're like, our friendship. No, it's not that. It could be. It's not that. It's this
This
podcast.
podcast. I was really I don't know if you guys, whoever, like people who follow us, if you saw our stories of like our reach with this podcast. I
Mhm.
was really, really surprised, delightfully surprised. that we reached many other countries and people and homes. So that's great. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot because, it's not easy being, here opening up about like very delicate topics and talking about our lives and our personal lives. And if it helps one person, then that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But we, got to many people. So that's great.
Like you, I was shocked and surprised by the statistics of what countries were listening to us and how many people follow us and how many people find V Unfiltered to be their top podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, really, um, I was not expecting that at all. Um, it has made my year. And it's weird because it's such a scary endeavor. It's so scary, people, to open up. It's so scary to talk about your failed relationships and your situationships and your imaginationships and where we are vulnerable and we are exposing ourselves. We just mentioned how brutal this world is, and yet we're here opening up and exposing
Talking about it.
ourselves, knowing that people can easily attack us
And they
because
have.
and they have because it is our real names, our real lives.
Hmm.
We don't hide behind a screen. This
No.
is what you see, and you know what? Perhaps years from now, we will look back at this podcast and be like, "Oh, how innocent and naive we were. We have we have erred less." Now, like we've made less mistakes now that we're older, because that's usually what happens. As
Yeah.
humans, we make lots of mistakes and we're never right. We just make less mistakes. So maybe when we see this podcast 10 years ago, we perhaps will change our mind and be like, oh, that's funny. I felt like that way. I don't feel
Hmm.
like that anymore. It's totally a possibility.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, we're opening up in real time with our listeners and our viewers and being as transparent as we can with our mistakes.
And with our truths right now in
Mm-hmm.
2022, who knows, maybe tomorrow my truth is going to be different. My
Mm-hmm.
standpoint, my perspective, my view on things is going to be different. But for now, the way that I see it, this podcast, um, help, like, I help myself by helping you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah, I've changed a lot too.
So, like, by talking about it, I can help someone, but I help myself as well.
Yeah.
Having this space to be able to express my feelings, my thoughts, my experiences, I feel like it might help any of you, some of you, maybe one of you, but I help myself as well.
Yeah.
Because many, like, life is not easy, but it just makes it better when you have, someone there
Mm-hmm.
to share it with. So,
I've changed a lot since the
mhm.
podcast. Many things. My friendships are stronger. Because I've invested in them more. My relationships are always struggling, but but at least I am putting myself first now.
Yeah.
I know that I have to honor myself and I have to love myself first before I can love anybody else. And if something is a deal breaker, then I need to say it. If it's a red flag, then I need to say it. That's something I never had. Self love, amour propre, like never had that. I've always been there for everybody else and never for me, making me disrespect my own boundaries. So now I'm no longer doing that. I'm also being very aware of the mistakes I've made in relationships, because when I say them out loud, I realize that I always had a I was part of the problem. And aside from that, of the self-help that I get from this podcast, um just it's amazing to think that our broken hearts can reach people, you know like to think that there are other women out there saying, I feel like you, or I understand. That's exactly how I feel. It's
That
I
happened to me too.
right.
Hmm.
I never thought that all that damage and all that pain was not going to be. It's not just a learning lesson for me. Like it's just not a learning moment for me, but for the listeners and the viewers. I never expected that. So, so thank you to all our listeners in the UK, in Guatemala, in Ireland, in Canada, in the US, and obviously in El Salvador. Oh, and in Spain. Sorry, I forgot Spain.
Spain as well. Yeah.
Thank you for all the support. I am blown away by your messages and by you listening to these two girls talk about their lives. Really, and I think it's also important to also remind people that we don't do this with malice. I don't think we do this podcast to attack anybody. We're not here to hate on life or the society or El Salvador or men or relationships or single people or married people or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
before we jump into any conclusions of this is a podcast that hates whatever.
We don't hate
We don't hate.
stuff. We
Mm-mm.
just question it, I guess.
And we're navigating through our own
Hmm.
through those questions. So thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being with us this 13 episodes of our first season, year 2022. And we hope to see you 2023.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you 2023 with season 2. And I don't know if you want us to talk about something specific in the first episode, let us know.
Mhm.
If you want us to talk about, goals and New Year's resolutions for 2023, we can do that, or we can talk about anything else, anything you would like us to
If you
talk
want to
about.
say Feliz Navidad to us on Instagram as well, you can. You can message Maria.
You can find me as MF Bruson, both Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me as Vanessa Tomasino, one N, one S on Instagram and on TikTok. All right, Maria, this is the end of our episode.
This is the end. Okay, see you next time.
In Spanish, Feliz Navidad
Y feliz año nuevo.
y próspero año nuevo a todos
Eso.
los que nos escuchan. Eso ya no habla ya español.
No hablo español.
No hablo español. And thank you so much to everybody. We hope to see you the next year.
Besos.
Bye.